Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. Have you ever heard of dodgy boxes? It's an increasing phenomenon here in Ireland, where people, in order to watch pay-per-view channels or satellite TV channels, instead of using the legitimate boxes, get these cloned ones or dodgy boxes. They're operating illegally, basically. And the penalties actually for getting involved in this can be quite large. Just recently, a guy in Wexford was fined €480,000 for distributing and making profits off these dodgy boxes. Now, a lot of people are doing it because they feel the prices are far too high from the satellite TV channels, and the prices are certainly very high if you want to get all the channels on satellite TV. However, nobody has to watch TV. You know, if you choose to watch those channels and they're having to produce those channels, you know, there's massive expenses involved in paying the staff, production costs, I know, and even just making some short videos, how expensive it can be to do it in a quality way. And so we might get upset and say these things cost too much and how greedy it is. But, you know, if something costs too much and it's not something that's essential for life, then we can choose not to buy it. And yet, apparently, 14% of people in Ireland have got involved in watching their TV on one of these dodgy boxes. There's risks involved. There's risks of prosecution, of course, but not just that. Apparently, if you're using a dodgy box, you're much likely to fall prey to online scanners. 1 in 5 of people who are operating dodgy boxes or watching dodgy boxes have ended up getting scammed online as a result. And the amount of money they're getting scammed for is about 6 times higher than the amount of scams that the rest of the population is falling into. However, the main problem with these dodgy boxes is not that you might get scammed. The main problem is that whenever we steal something, there is always a victim. You know, sometimes we feel if we steal off big companies, it doesn't harm people. I mean, look, you can say if you break into somebody's house and steal a child's toys, you can immediately see the impact that that has by the devastation it's caused to the family that you stole from. However, sometimes there's this perception that if you steal from a big company, if you steal from a big store, if you steal from an insurance company, if you steal from Sky TV, or if you steal from the government by not paying taxes or whatever else, that therefore nobody's getting hurt. But that's not the case. We all do get hurt. If people defraud insurance companies, then the rest of us that do things honestly end up having to pay more for our insurance. If people are accessing these TV channels with dodgy boxes, then those of us that pay for the legitimate service end up having to pay more. If people steal from shops, doesn't matter whether it's a corner shop or whether it's a huge supermarket, multinational supermarket, the end result is that the rest of us spend up paying more for our food because of the people that are doing the stealing. That's the way it works. Whenever we commit a sin, whenever we commit a crime, there's always a victim. There's no such thing as a victimless crime. And therefore, the reason why we as Christians should avoid all kinds of theft and dishonesty is, because God tells us we're to be honest, but it comes down to love. It comes down to our love for other people. Because if we steal something, even if it's to the extent of cheating on our taxes or paying somebody cash in hand so we don't have to pay VAT or whatever else, in the end, somebody has to pay for that. And the love that we have for others should cause us as Christians to see that as something that we should be ashamed and grieved by doing. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. It's not easy if you've got limited resources and your kids want to watch certain TV programs and everything else. But as Christians, the law of love tells us that we have to do things in a righteous way. And I pray that we as Christians can set an example in this and be part of the solution, not part of the problem. You know what? We can't make everybody in Ireland live uprightly or with integrity, but we as believers in Jesus Christ can choose to live in integrity. Let's do so in Jesus' name. God bless you today, and join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.